hiring these coaches? How about this one?
Well, I'm ecstatic about Coach Mainieri coming here, and as I shared in the press conference earlier, you lean on people that have so much experience in the business. But I knew when he stepped down at LSU for the reasons he did, because he had to have the surgeries, and he and I had talked. He wasn't finished, and I never forgot it. I know last year his name popped up in a couple job openings. He had conversations with him, and as I reached out to him, I didn't really know that he would 100% entertain this, and I didn't attack it that way. I talked to him about other candidates until I had an opportunity to say, well, we really got a pretty good place and a great fan base that would get excited about success in our program. And as he said, we've had some success, but we missed the opportunity to host, I think, one time in the last 6 years. And I'm extremely confident that we've hired an iconic coach that is ready to go. I mean, as he said, he's not interested in a 3-year plan or 5-year plan. He wants to win next year.
Were you leaning towards somebody else? Did you have maybe somebody else at the top of the list before you talked to him and then you switched towards him?
No, honestly, I had narrowed the field. The field was very, very short. I had some people that this is a really good job. Some of the people that I talked to said this is a top 5 job. I never ranked it in the country on where it is. I know it's a really good job and a great city and a great place, a great university. But it's just exciting to be able to bring him here and get going. I can't wait.
When did you start to hone in on him specifically in that conversation, starting to think to yourself, this might be our guy?
Well, I knew that last year at this time he had entertained some conversations at 2 other schools. We talked about it. He didn't make the move. He could have made a move. He didn't. And I wasn't sure exactly, where he was. And as I talked to him about some candidates and about our place and what we were doing and who we were, the first question I think he asked me is, how long are you going to be the athletics director? And I said, that has nothing to do with the question that I'm about to ask you. And so we talked about it, and he got very excited and the opportunity, and and his wife Karen, he really, I'm convinced that he's not finished. He didn't, he had his surgery he had to have at LSU. That's not the way he wanted the last chapter to be written, and I'm delighted that he's going to do that here at the University of South Carolina. And it's a 5-year contract, so I'm not holding him to 5. I want more.
How much was Monty being part of the staff kind of, this has got to happen, or did you approach it?
I told him about Monty only because Monty worked with me for 6 years, and he was the interim head coach, and I told him what his strengths were. That being said, I said, Coach Mainieri, I've been in these shoes before, and I've hired some coaches. Coaches decide who's on their staff, and I'm not going to tell you got to take Monty Lee. I'm not that guy. I'm telling you, he's done a really wonderful job in a tough conditions when a coach vacated and kept the team together. I know he'd love to talk to you. He does have another opportunity potentially, but I'm out of it. It's your game here, and he really enjoyed his conversations time with Monty, and I'm excited that Monty's staying with us.
I know as AD, sometimes you got to take a neutral view of things, but considering what you did for this baseball program, how much has the last 12 years kind of personally affected you that maybe it hasn't done as well as you would like?
Well, again, and he said it, it's not, our program hasn't been horrible by any stretch of the imagination. We've just missed, and he described it, we missed that swing, whatever that swing was, the 3-game swing, the 4-game swing. You guys have been around here. That's what we've missed. We've missed those key games, those clutch plays, those clutch hits. That's what we've missed. We've had, good people running the program they did it the right way, had good players. And, it's a situation that I admire those 2 coaches that came after me, and they're still in the game, and I'm happy for them, and I feel sure that Coach Kingston will stay in the game as well. So, but that's all it was. It's just not being there, and not hosting at the end of the year. We do have expectations. We do not have apathy. We have expectations, and you want to try to meet them. And you got one of the best ever. I mean, he's the all-time winningest active coach in baseball, so it gives us a good chance.
Ray, I know this. Remember about competing against him, coaching against him. When you had to play his teams, what did you have to know?
matching wits. I mean, I always prided myself on, I could manage a game and I could read situations. And yeah, we had scouting reports back then, even though we didn't have as many analytics as we do today. But I felt I could match wits with about anybody and maybe be a step ahead. The bullpen, the guys on deck, who was coming, where we were in the order, and he pitching around guys. He was difficult. He was difficult, and he's been in the game forever. His dad. I mean, it was like he was always going to take that extra base and a ball in the dirt, a bunt play, and then a 3-run blast. It was like you could not contain him. Often I played him. It was like I needed a clock. 27 outs are hard to get. I needed for the game to end. But I look back. Actually, I said to Charles Bloom, I said, I know I'm about 500 against LSU in my career. And I said, I'm just curious. How about Coach Mainieri? He said, you're not 500. I said, okay, I get it. But, like I said, he said earlier, he won in 2009. We won in 10 and 11. Don't think we didn't have conversations, about this is what you do and how you do it. And then of course he tells me that you couldn't win in 12. I mean, why couldn't you do that again? But we're delighted to have him here. I know the players are a bunch of players here today and yesterday when he met with them on Teams call. So there's a lot of excitement, and I like the approach. Win now.
Ray, I know this question may sound silly to you, but it just came up naturally from the fan base because of how similar, the age and everything. Was there any thought process of potentially getting back into the dugout? And after making this hire, is it safe to say that you are retired for good?
Well, I was flattered by a few people and a few conversations about it's okay. You could go back and do it again. And I never thought that was the right thing for me. It wasn't like I don't love the game. I do love the game. I watch baseball. I watch softball. I mean, I'm into our sports, and I enjoy being the athletics director. You're not a great AD unless your teams win a lot. I get that, so I understand that. But I felt that I needed to be where I'm at today, and but a couple people did flatter me.
Chance Miller now moving on to Coastal Carolina, so you got to fill that job.
Well, it's I won't say it's official because I haven't seen a release yet. But the rumors are Coastal did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Chance has been with us now for 10 years. And he's been my deputy for the last, I guess, four plus. He's fantastic. There's, from a guy from East Tennessee that ended up in New York City, NYU law, and worked at the NFL, worked at NCAA, and has been with us. I mean, he's been my right hand. He's well prepared and qualified to lead Coastal Carolina. I'm excited for him. Really happy. And as I told him today that. As much as I'm going to miss him, I'm also very happy and excited that he grew into this opportunity. And it's not easy to become an athletics director. There's not that many jobs. And I think he's going to a fantastic place.
Are you prepared to promote somebody, or you have to do an outside search?
Well, in the meantime, we've got really great administrators within the department, and Chris Rogers and Judy Van Horn, Charles Waddell, Maria Hickman, and Jeff Davis and Jeff Tal. I could go on and on. So I'm not sliding anybody into that role, but right now we have to get those duties shared. So we'll do that in the meantime and think about what we do in the future in a few weeks.
I'm sure you